is called Look to This Day. And it's based on, in part, a poem that's said to come from the Vedas. And Kriyananda gave us a copy of this poem like many years ago in one of the classes that I was in. And so you'll find online that there's a number of different variations on it. And I'm just giving you and passing along to you the one that he gave us. And I gave copies, and if you didn't get a copy, there's one on the back. I just think it's very important. He felt it was very important and talked to us about the meaning or the implications of this particular poem called The Dawn of Truth. Look to this day, this very day, for it is life, the very life of life itself. In its brief course lies all the realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of achievement, the ecstasy of love. Yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of victory. Look well, therefore, to this very day. Such is the salutation to the dawn of truth. The main point of this poem, this text, is that your everyday life is your spiritual life. I know that we come here on Sunday, or you may get inspired at your Hatha Yoga class, but Kriyananda said it over and over again, that our everyday life and our spiritual life is one and the same. So the work that we do, the dedication that we do as yogis is in just every moment of our everyday life. It's so important to be in the now, in the moment of our everyday life, because it's really interesting to think about. But we don't have any power in the past, and we don't have any power in the future, right? Like, okay, so just you're sitting there, try to do something in the past. That didn't work, right? So try to do something in the future. That didn't work either. And you can't do that. We're able to direct our energy and make movement and think is only in the very moment of the now, which is why you hear a lot of things like the title of Ram Dass's book, Be Here Now. He was taught that over and over again by his teacher. But it's something that I read in one book that they said, people are so powerful in the moment of the now that they choose to forget it. Because you could change your whole life right now. You could do something important right now. You could think the most important thought of your life right now. You could be the person you want to be right now. You could do anything in the now. But it's almost like there's too much there in that now moment. So our minds slip away from it. We can't handle it. We move past it. And the goal of the yogi, in some sense, is to be right balanced in the moment of now. Doesn't mean we have to do anything, but we have to be aware that that's where we are. Here we are, in this moment, in this good place. That's how mantra helps us to be in the now. But our every power, all of our power is in the moment of the now, which is why we have to be here. Be here now. I don't know how to say it again. I don't know another way to say it, but I'm going to talk through some different things today about different techniques and practices that you can do, and I'm going to try not to be too. What I want you to think about, I'm going to give you some different things to think about and potentially do. But you should think of them as tools in a toolbox rather than to be overwhelmed, because if you've been going to yoga classes, as long as some of us have been going to yoga classes and Kriyananda's lectures, there's a million techniques that we could potentially be doing. We've learned about so many of them. I've learned many of them, and I've forgotten many of them. But we want to make sure that we have tools in our toolbox. Kriyananda said this once. He said, you have to learn this because you have to learn this whether it's from him or other teachers. You have to learn it because you want it to be there when you need it. So if you learn techniques, if you learn good practices, if you learn like 10,000 hatha yoga postures, you want to learn them so you know them and you can use them when you need them. But I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, because we can feel overwhelmed by all the things we should be doing in the course of a day. I mean, that can get really overwhelming. But you want to find what works for you, and I'm going to give you some things to help out. Lots of ways to practice yoga, which means both balancing and attuning to the divine in the course of your everyday. And the first thing I would talk about is to enjoy waking up and going to sleep. Enjoy waking up. My affirmation is, I wake up every morning feeling good all over in every way, and I feel good throughout the day. I know some people think that's a little too chirpy and happy sounding for first thing in the morning, but I think about it because that's my goal. My goal is to wake up every morning feeling good all over in every way. It really, if you have any physical issues, that's what you want. You want, like, I want to feel good all over in every way. And I want to feel good throughout the day. That's what I want to feel, is a feeling of goodness and gratefulness for being up, for waking up in the morning. So find some way to enjoy waking up in the morning, and use that over and over again, so that as you wake up in the morning, you're already starting your day off in some good way. Even if a few minutes later something difficult happens, you wake up and you're programming your day. Because really, that's what our brains do. They're a type of computer where we need to program our minds. And if you don't program your mind, believe me, the world is going to program it for you. And if you in contact with any type of media, that is not going to be like the happiest, most joyful stuff coming into your life. So your responsibility is to program your brain with some good stuff. Whether it's affirmations or scripture or jokes, I don't know, whatever is good for you and makes you feel happy. One of the daily rituals that I think is, for me, the most important is meditation. Daily meditation. In the same time, the same place, sitting in a comfortable seated position, not too hungry, not too full, but where you are finding a state of balance for the day. I think Kriyananda said it best when he would just look at us as disciples and he would go, meditation, meditation, meditation. But you know about meditation. Whatever technique you use, it's good. It's the Nike slogan. Just do it. There's no. I would like to make an advertisement and say this type of meditation is better than this type of meditation, but it's really not true. The type of meditation that's the best is the meditation that you actually do. And if you know it but you don't do it, that's not a very good type of meditation. So just do it. Daily meditation is going to have you start your day or end your day with a rebalancing. That's very important. And then there's just the general mindfulness. General mindfulness is a practice where you're aware of what's going on in your life as you're living it. And I think that our culture does a really good job of trying to get us not to be in our minds as are living it. because there's infinite distractions that we could potentially have. Infinite media. How wonderful to be able to have every movie that's ever made at your fingertips at every moment, or every song that could be played at your, in your ears at any moment. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. It just means that you need to be aware if you're enjoying your life or if you're distracting your life. But just general mindfulness. This seems to have gotten a little bit worse as I've gotten older. Not to say the old thing, but sometimes I have trouble remembering if I've taken my vitamins or not. Did I take them? Did I take this one? I was thinking about something else, and I totally. How does your mind blank out so much that you can totally forget things? But you do. A person does. You don't, but I do. And there are times when I just don't remember, or the day's gone past, or those times when you're driving your car and all of a sudden you've gotten somewhere and you don't quite remember how you've gotten there. Obviously, you and the car have gotten there safely, but time has disappeared. So I like this Zen story from this great book that I like called Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, compiled by Paul Reps. It's the umbrella story. I think about this a lot. I'll tell it to you. Zen students are with their masters at least 10 years before they presume to teach others. Nan In, the Zen master, was visited by Tenno, who, having passed his apprenticeship, had become a teacher. The day happened to be rainy, so Tenno wore wooden clogs and carried an umbrella. After greeting him, Nan In said, "I suppose you left your wooden clogs in the vestibule. I want to know, is your umbrella on the right side or the left side of your wooden clogs?" Tenno was confused by this, and he had no instant answer. Basically, he didn't remember. He realized that he was unable to carry his every moment Zen or his mindfulness every minute. So then, he became Nan In's pupil and studied for many more years to accomplish that every moment Zen. I have put probably 50 umbrellas down in various places and never remembered them again, and somebody else has them now because they're gone. But this is the type of thing you want to practice. You want to know. You want to be awake and aware in your life, is what I'm trying to say. And then another important practice of everyday life that I think is the best. But I just recently told it to a student, and she said, "That's too hard." So I'm going to teach it to you, and you can decide if it's too hard or not. It's called the mirror practice. And every time you see yourself in a mirror, or when you catch yourself in a reflection, you know how we do it as we're walking along the street, we sort of go like, are we okay? What's going on? We look at ourselves. Every time you see yourself in a mirror, say, "Hi there, I like you." So why would she say that? I can't do that. But I've heard that there's people it's really hard to do. But I can tell you that from the point I started doing it when it was harder to do, to now, every time I look in the mirror, I'm smiling at myself. I'm looking in my eyes and going, "Hi there, I like you." And you can even say, "Hi there, I love you." But it's all about, it's easy to give love to other people, but how hard is it to give love to ourselves? So if you can do that practice, you will be total master of love, the ecstasy of love. You have to love yourself to love other people and to give love to the world. Kriyananda said that so often. But it's the mirror practice. It's really logically not hard, but some people find that difficult. But try it and see if you find it hard or difficult. That's a type of mindfulness. If you see it and you go like, "Oh, yeah," and you start doing like the critique, critique type of thing on your physical vehicle, just say, hi there, I like you.